has given way to the F-14 Tomcat, carrier ready rooms haven't changed much since the days of World War II.
Okay, you gonna brief the XO? Thanks.
They're still the place where pilots gather to ready for a conflict, to discuss missions, or to take a break. Each squadron has its own ready room, and each is decorated with the group's insignias, nicknames, and memorabilia. Off limits to anyone but aviators, the ready room is the private clubhouse for pilots, where they can prepare for or take a breather from the stresses of one of the most perilous occupations.
This is one of the most dangerous jobs in the world, let alone the Navy. You have to really put it in context. You have a ship the size of 2 football fields with nuclear power pushing it through the water, tons of aviation fuel, tons of ordnance, and oh, by the way, all the time, day or night, rain or shine, we're landing high-performance aircraft on the ceiling.
But while the dangers of the day are tough enough, it's the night that challenges even the best of pilots.
Anyone that says that they feel comfortable landing on a ship at night is probably lying to you, because you don't ever really get to the point where you're really comfortable out there.
The night landings never get easier. I have several hundred landings day and night, and I'd say that I still get just excited about a night catapult shot and a night landing. In fact, I'm night CQing tonight, and it's going to be just as challenging as many, many years ago when I first started this business.
Three-dimensional surfing is what it is. You never have to grow up. Live Never Neverland, Peter Pan.
See you later.
With only the amber glow of the deck lights, and with pre-flight checks by flashlight, every safe takeoff and landing is a feat.
When things start to become more dangerous, the level of difficulty goes way up. And so we need added equipment, added help to get the guys aboard at night. And this is where all that takes place. Air operations is the central point for flight operations during night or adverse conditions. We run the show from down here. We have air traffic controllers in the back room that use specialized equipment to help guide the aircraft down. This is where we make it happen when things start to get dangerous.
The carrier does look like a stamp from about 20 miles behind the ship when you're out there waiting to come down for your night trap. If the moon is out, you can just make out where the ship is, and you sort of say to yourself, can't believe I'm going to land on that. But you just sort of look at your instruments and trust that all the training will help and you will catch a wire.
Though sometimes viewed as daredevils, it is their preparation, caution, and constant awareness that bring these high-flying professionals back in one piece.
If you're not vigilant on what you're doing out there, that's what kills people out there at night.
Accidents aboard a carrier are rare, but when they do occur, they can be devastating. Death is an ever-present danger that every pilot must come to grips with.
I think pretty much everyone in the profession knows at least one person or one friend that didn't come back from a flight.
When you do lose somebody, it kind of hurts and hits the shock, and you learn to compartmentalize and you kind of move on.
It's something you really think about hard, but it's one of the risks that you decide whether you want to accept it or not and go on and figure that the job you're doing is worth the risk.
If there is a disaster, every crew member is trained to fight it. Fire prevention and training are the highest safety priorities, and drills are frequent.
Currently, what you're hearing is the signal for the crew to move to general quarters. What they've heard is that there is a missile or torpedo inbound, and they're currently bracing for shock and waiting for an impact. They're supposed to grab something solid, flex at the knees, so that any impact on the ship won't throw them off their feet. We provide an environment for our firefighters to train that most closely resembles what you might encounter during battle damage. This includes filling the space with smoke. This includes giving them simulations. What's the status of your casualty? Okay, what he's telling me basically is the fire is out and they're standing by in case the fire reflashes or starts again. Most of the people that you see out here are not Navy firefighters such as myself. These are administrative personnel, and their normal job is basically to take care of our personnel records, our pay, all our administrative needs. but when we go into a battle-type situation, they also become firefighters. Fighting a fire, I'll tell you this, it's scary. But at that point, all the training that you've experienced kicks in. You know you got a job to do, and you do it.
Serving their ship and their country is a life and death job every member of the George Washington is proud of. Even more so since September 11th.
When the September 11th attacks happened on TV, I was watching it. And I heard the commanding officer come on the speaker and say that we're being sent to that area. Being totally honest, I was kind of afraid. We didn't know what was going to happen next. We didn't know what was going on in the world. No one knew. I was afraid, but still, I was proud that we had been selected to go there and help defend our nation.
Today, 2 months later, we really feel like we're going out there and doing the good work and protecting freedom. And it's a real good feeling to know that we're contributing and helping defend our nation.
Other than the Gulf War, we really don't, this generation doesn't really have an experience in history to learn how to be patriotic or how to feel patriotic, because it is a feeling. The September 11 attacks was my first true sense of patriotism. I didn't grow up with a grandfather telling me war stories or any kind of sense of the military, so at that moment I realized I was a true patriot.
I looked at those young kids, officers and sailors, and I watched them steel their resolve and narrow their eyes and take a deep breath. And there was no doubt in my mind that the folks who unleashed this catastrophe on us had no idea what they were doing. And I feared for those folks because I knew these guys who were serving their nation were in it for the long haul, and I knew that they were going to see this fight through to the end.
The USS George Washington will hone its skills at sea for 3 weeks and prepare for the call to battle that could come at any time. But you don't have to join the Navy to get a look at one of these warships. The U.S. carrier fleet home ports along both coasts, and at fleet weeks like this one, you too can get a chance to walk atop one of these legendary flat tops.
Tours are going good. If you think about it, though, it is their ship. You know, this is their stuff, and it's good that they get to come out and see what they're spending their money on. Those are the steam catapults, and the rubber that's in there now is just a protective strip, so it doesn't let anything get down in there. Yeah, this is great. This is great, because I was one of these little kids walking around looking at the aircraft, asking all the questions about them, so it's nice to be able to now be on the other side and give back.
I actually spent 5 days on this boat last summer, and I watched 19-year-old kids taking off and landing. It just amazes me. I have a daughter that couldn't actually back a car out of the driveway without taking a mirror off the side, and here she is backing up jets.
1, 2, 3. It's good for them to come aboard and see what we do and where we live and how we live. It gives them a different idea about us and what we do out here. It makes me feel proud. To see people's reaction when they come and meet us, it makes me feel real proud, makes me feel real patriotic.
It is wartime, and though fleet weeks continue, carrier tours are on hold while the ships are on guard around the globe. But for carrier buffs, the retired USS Hornet in California and USS Intrepid in New York are floating museums open year-round.
Beats signing on for 4 years in the Navy. You get to get on an aircraft carrier that you otherwise would never get to be on.
But not all government operations are quite as public.